And gentlemen, I want to thank everybody who spent the last hour or whatever watching me on a podcast, live stream, whatever, like this episode where I had zero sound. Nobody was texting my phone. No, nothing. Certainly, okay. I've got comments on. Certainly, there should be. Well, I don't know if that even works. Some kind of way that somebody could let me know or whatnot. But I will know because there will be a bounce back because I don't have headphones in. I wonder if they were in the microphone thing. I kind of don't think so. I think that there was something weird and crazy and sinister going on before with my sound and everything. So seemingly, I'm getting sound because I see the lines are going ahead and moving out like this. It's weird. Okay. Anyway, moving out like this. I guess it's working. So I'm going to go ahead and here in just a minute I'm going to click onto my YouTube link. The reason why I had everything the way that it was, right? And, I had headphones and all in. So I thought, well, there'll be some blowback and I'll hear stuff, but I kind of I want to know that my thing's doing well. And then I'll like click mute on that video or whatnot. But what I'll do is this is being broadcast through the YouTube and it will be shared onto Twitter and Blue Sky and what have you. Be advised, I'm not good at this, but I'm a good talker. So hey, whatever. Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's glorious. Yes. So you're not just seeing my pretty face, but you're hearing my loud mouth too. Some of y'all may not even be like physically looking. In the name of humanity, with this thing, just do what I'm telling it to do. Okay. So yeah, I had a few things that I was coming on here to talk about. I was down at a Comic Con a few weekends ago. It was Heroes Con, absolutely fantabulous Comic Con, right? A lot of stuff going on, good things over here, good things over there. Everybody isn't really making out like bandits. Let me turn my volume down. Well, I don't know if I don't care if you hear a little beep or something. But I'm under the distinct impression, and I've had people give me that impression, and just from what I see and what I hear, and there's surely an exception to the rule or whatnot, that I feel like most people that go to a Comic Con or what have you, they already know who they're going to see in general. They already know what books they're going to buy in general. And I had two different people that have did some prominent things that are like, man, you really need to get out there. You need to go ahead. You need to make more videos. You need to talk about your books. Just talk about yourself. Just be yourself. That way people will know you instead of you being in like some corner or whatnot and not like really hearing a word about any of it. All right, so this is me doing that, even though I want to say that as a Sigma male and a high level empath, I find it absolutely soul crushing to pour and pour and pour and pour and pour and pour and pour myself into anything and not really get the results. I'm going big, I'm going hard at comics. Um, I have so much money being poured into my Hellfire series and everything that it's like Alfred Hitchcock, Walt Disney type stuff. I will either crash and burn or rise like the mighty phoenix. Do I need your support? Absolutely. I need your support. I need your friends' support. I need your mama's support. If you're even remotely interested, they will all be red band. They will all be MA, so they can have like all kinds of graphic horror, whatever stuff in them. There's no nudity or whatnot in them. But if you need trigger warnings, you probably shouldn't be reading my Hellfire series at all. If it was written for everybody, it's not really written for anybody. So I'm just going to be myself and probably make this less than an hour because I have to. I'm taking my niece out to a movie here today. Actually, I don't. I'm good on time. So yeah, while this is about comics, I don't wear masks and I'm not fake like some people are on the internet or putting on a facade or persona. I'm just being me. So I'll talk a little bit about the Bible. I'll talk a little bit about comics. I'll talk a little bit about horror, whatever. That's who I am. I've written a lot of horror. If you're buying my stuff or reading it on Kindle, thank you, because it's making me money and I need it. If you're listening to my gospel music stuff on Spotify or YouTube Music or whatever, it's Ben Jam, all capitals like Spinal Tap, BEN asterisk JAM. Thank you. I get paid for that quarterly. I get paid for books monthly, though not nearly enough to do, much of anything. I couldn't live in the poorest country in the world with as much as I'm making, but I nickels and dimes gives me something over time. It turns into an amount. I made exponentially more in music than I have in books. I tend to sell books vastly better when I'm in front of people in person, because I engage people and all that. I'm like this in front of people, like, hey, how you doing? Never meet a stranger, that kind of guy. So anyway, I'm just going to be me, and I'm just going to go ahead and talk, and I'm going to start out with a Bible verse. Am I going to turn it into something about comics? Sure. In the Bible today, the one verse, I'm an expositionist, expository preacher. I expound on smaller things and everything. But okay. So the verse is in Isaiah in the 48th chapter, Isaiah chapter 48 and verse number 3. Isaiah 48 and 3. If this was like a sermon thing instead of just like a video, I would pause and give you time to turn there. But it's all good and fine. Isaiah 48 and 3. I have declared the former things from the beginning, and they went forth out of my mouth. And I showed them, and I did them suddenly, and they came to pass. Boom, shakalaka. We're bringing back the old school, ladies and gentlemen. Haven't heard that word since NBA Jam. But we're bringing back the old school. So Mr. Byrne has went ahead, or Marvel went ahead, and they put out his X-Men thing. It is already sold out. People love the classics. They love the stuff. So it's not a matter of opinion anymore. The numbers prove that Marvel made the right decision. What is the right decision? Give the people what they want. Listen to me. Give the people what that's what it is in comics. There's an audience for this, an audience for that, whatever. I have the luxury of creating like the Hellfire series and everything. So I'm making it the way I want to make it. There ain't an audience built in for it yet, so I don't have to conform to any kind of thing. I can be a nonconformist, which I've always been a nonconformist. And there you go with that. I've read a bunch of books here recently, and I'm not one of these people that goes off the deep end and says, there's no good comics now. That's stupid. Of course there are. And I read what I like. Now, are there good comics other than what I read? I'm sure that there's things that other people enjoy and everything. I just pick up what I pick up. If there's something that you think is cool, tell me about it and tell me why you think I would like it. I'm down with that. Anyway, Batman Dark Patterns is something that I recently read. Andrea Turturro is the editor of that and had the wisdom to go ahead and get Dan Waters to write it. It is an exceptional collection of 4 different stories. Each of them take 2 to 3 comic book lengths to tell. They are all interconnected. Will there be spoilers in this? Yes, but I'm not going to tell you everything. The first one that you have is about a guy named Wound Man. Ace Chemicals has poisoned the ground in the community. It's got into the water supply. The people there don't feel anything anymore. Hence, you get this character that comes out of that from a bunch of tragedy. He's got rebar sticking out of him. He's got nails and screws sticking out of him. All this stuff to where he just wanted to feel again. And because of all of the bad things that have happened to him in his life as a result from all of this, that drove him to this point, he is hunting down the people that are responsible for it, and he's taking them out in the most absolutely violent sort of ways. It's Batman Dark Patterns, again, ladies and gentlemen. It's in a trade. Support your local comic shop. Go ahead and get that. If there are none near where you live, there's plenty of places where you can find them online. DC Comics. The second story is about Scarface. I guess anybody here that knows about Batman knows who Scarface is, and the ventriloquist. He's a ventriloquist mobster dummy. Has to do with that. The third one is about the Red Hood Gang, the legendary Red Hood Gang. As small time as they were, a bunch of Irishmen that would dip people's faces into bleach until their skin came off, hence their name, the Red Hood Gang, out in a very, very bad neighborhood in Gotham. Some stuff is going on about trying to resurrect the legend or the fear or the lore or whatnot of the Red Hood Gang. That is in Batman Dark Patterns, people. Another comic book that I have been reading and keeping up with is it going to show Absolute Green Arrow. Absolute Green Arrow is supremely violent. They talk about the powers that are over anything, the oligarchy, the plutocracy is the word that I would use. How there's people that have all this wealth and ability to do bad things, which has always been true, by the way, and they do them. So if you were a bad, really wicked, psychopath, evil person, whatnot, you probably don't have the means to do that many terrible things. But if you had crazy, stupid money, you came from old money, you were a good business person, you came into new money, you could do all kinds of awful things. Being a historian, I know a lot about that. Look up Henry Ford, what a terrible Nazi sympathizer he was that left people standing outside to freeze to death in work lines because he wanted to work people cheap and all kinds of stuff like that. Freelance. Since very J. Jonah Jameson, terrible, horrible person. Was Henry Ford in hell today? Probably. Awful person. I don't really see a lot of redeemable stuff about his life, even though I would hope that he prayed or whatnot. But he's monstrous. A whole bunch of things. Was he a brilliant businessman? Unquestionably. Did he change the automotive industry? Yeah, he sure did. But just because he's brilliant in that sense, just because the devil is like this great musician and everything that you get from Scripture, that he was this worship leader, that likable quality becomes tainted when it's covered over with bad and being used in bad ways. Okay, so you have that. The Punisher. He is once again facing off. What is that? That is episode or issue number 5. That is by Benjamin Percy. I'm naming the writers, by the way. I'm a writer. I'm also a graphic artist. So nothing on the artists there. Great art in all of those, but I am following them particularly because of the writers. Story first is the way that I am, not necessarily the person, but the story. If it interests me, that's what pulls me in. The Punisher is fighting against Jigsaw and Tombstone, and it's really, really, really bloody and gory and violent. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a great story. Anyone that likes Punisher stuff and all the things that are going on in the crime world and all the bad and a power vacuum and whatnot, I encourage you to read that. Benjamin Percy, outstanding writer, highly recommend. Robert Vendetti's Hank Howard Pizza Detective. It's goofy, it's silly, it's pulp noir detective, and it involves pizza all in one. Though I don't know who just goes for like the sausage pizza or whatnot. People think that I'm a Jew. I don't eat pork. I'm grafted into the vine. That's what the Bible says. 6th generation Church of God, Pentecostal, all that. I just believe the Bible. That's where I've got my Star of David and a mezuzah, which somebody complimented me on at Comic-Con. Most people don't even know what this is or what a mezuzah is or whatnot. Know the Bible, love the Bible, read the Bible. My favorite book, my favorite author, I mean the one that it came from, God. So yeah, you've got all that. So no, there's a whole lot of things going on and everything. Wow. My other talk, it was just flowing. I went on for an hour. I'm 13 minutes into this. Let me just haul off and say this, okay? If you want to support me, the best thing that you can do is read or buy my books, online. You can go into Amazon Kindle and you can read them if you've got a subscription. You can buy them in anywhere, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Books a Million, Walmart.com. You can find them. They're all over Amazon, though. You can find my whole list there. BL Blankenship, those initials in the last name, BLANKENSHIP, but you see it down below. I mean, have Ben Jam, my music, capital BEN * JAM. Look me up on Spotify, whatnot. I get paid for my music quarterly. I get paid for my writing monthly off of that type of stuff. All of my Hellfire comics 1 through 5 plus annual number 1 will be coming out November 2026 or April 2027. They will all be done before they start printing. That way I can stagger them out, which shows that I'm impeccably more competent than Distillery, or I'd like to think so. Yeah, I hate that when there's lag and when there's delay and all that. That's bad for business. I will have these set up at Comic Cons, where I am presuming that I will be at, and I mean as a vendor be at. I will be at Heroes Con 2027. I will be at Baltimore Comic Con 2027. I will be at MegaCon 2027, and I will be at New York Comic Con 2027. If that changes, I will be posting things saying that that changes. I'm putting it all out on the line, and I need to win, and I need to win big there. People need to come up enthused and buy those books. Yes, I have distributors. Yes, I'm doing what I can to make them available where you can get them through your local comic shops. All that goodness is going to go on too, but I need to make money at these cons because I'm certainly not like a big quill enough that I'm being paid to be there, getting comp to table. Um, I'll be out a good grand every time that I'm there on top of the money that I've already spent. So I need to be selling books out of my nose while I'm there, which is pretty like large. But yeah, that's what I need. I need your help. I need your support. I'm not one of these indies that has stuff on Kickstarter. Do I think that it's bad or whatever? I think that it's great if you got an audience that will show up and will do that. But I don't know that that's a thing for me right yet, right here, right now. But I'm putting myself out there. I'm doing this. Share it. Talk about me. Share things about me as a writer. Share pictures and posts of mine. They are not hard to find. Look on any of my socials. You can go ahead and do that. You probably found this on one of my socials right now. I will share the living unmerciful snot out of your post probably. If you go ahead and do stuff, if you do fan art or anything for my Hellfire or Holy Ghost Exorcist, small dog type stuff, I will share that stuff that you went ahead and did probably. If I print it in any of my books, that means that you are getting that book pro bono, free of charge. Um, Thank you for any kind of help that you could give me. Thank you for doing unto others as you would have them do unto you. For those of you who have no common sense, I don't know how common sense is anymore. It's what anyone would want you to do. To congratulations to so and so on such and such book or series. Wow, this book or this series looks really good. Wow, I'm so excited about this book or this series. A common sense what anyone would want you to do, unless there's something emphatically wrong with them. So I would love it if y'all would do that. If you mean it. Um, I'm not looking for a bunch of people to just like show up online, and if they're like, this is great, but then they never really like show up. So, whatever. But yeah, do what you can. I really appreciate it. I've really been putting myself out there. I'm going to continue to, and one way or the other, I'm not going to shut up until, all this stuff goes on because I want to stay fresh in your mind. It is the squeaky wheel that gets oiled, people. Thank you so much. This is 18 minutes just now, so it's going to go a little bit over that. Way better than the hour rant that I did purportedly. I don't know. I'm pretty interesting and dynamic, but I don't like to sit through like 6 hour brain rot that people do. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. You have total free liberty to snip and to clip this and to put it out, be it good, be it bad, be it ugly. I'm a horror writer as well as a preacher, public personality, whatever. I don't care. I just am trying to do well in the whole comic medium. I'm trying to be nice to everybody. I don't wear masks. Plenty of people do. So if I'm acting some way, I want you to get a hold of this. It's not an act. It's the way that I am. Anybody that says that I am, it's because they're fake. But anyway, that's what you got. B.O. Blankenship. Thank you. I hope that you have a good day. If Dan Fraga is not watching this, it's a crime against humanity because he's one of the ones that said that I absolutely should be making things like this. I'm going to give Mike Barron a little bit more grace, but Mike Barron also said that I ought to be going ahead and doing things like this down there at Heroes Con. Spread the word. I'm going to be down there at Heroes Con. Any of the people that work with me, by the way, I'm giving them a free space. I'm not paying for the hotel room and everything. I'm not making that kind of money. I already told you I'm up against it. But I'm giving them a free space at my table if they can go ahead and if they can make it out. So Dave Dinsmore may very well be showing up for a few things. He lives over in Ohio. Elvin, who has done some work with me, moved to Indiana from Barbados. That seems like that should have been in the other order. Absolutely stands a chance of being able to make it. Mike Motts is in Canada, so if I ever get into any Canadian things in like the part that he's in, because it's bigger than a state, that he may very well be there. Andre is out in Italy, Italy, as my mama would call it. So he would probably be there if I was around where he lived and all that. But those ones happen to be a good piece off. I work with people around the world, love everybody. Um, I've had some other artwork from some people in Brazil and whatnot, so on and so forth. Thanks again. Y'all have a wonderful day. Share this, unmercifully share this, blow up the internet, clip this, write stuff. Look at the ishookcomics.net page about stuff about my stuff and share my stuff, or look down on my walls where you can find my stuff. You know what I'm saying. Bye-bye.